David Ducker coming back at you, and today we're going to be talking about one-shots. And before we talk about that, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask, do I sound worse than usual? Do I look worse than usual? Because I have a new camera, and it might be worse than my old camera. It's like the old camera's down here, and the new camera, it might be like, it's not good either. But in the comments below, let me know. Do I look worse? Do I sound worse? I know I don't look great under the best of circumstances, but which camera do you prefer? Even if they're tied, I'll probably switch back to the old one because you get the low angle. You get to look up at me, and that's not a good look. Not for me. But back to the topic at hand. One-shots. What are they? How do you play them? How do you GM them? How do you prep them? So let's start at the beginning. A one-shot is a single solitary adventure, takes place over the course of one night. It's typically 4 hours long. It can be a little shorter, it can be a little longer, but you want to get a beginning, a middle, and an end all in one night, one sit-down session. That's what a one-shot is. So what does that constrain us to? If you want to have a beginning, a middle, and an end in one session, then that's what you need to prep. Prep the beginning. Get a hot hook. Get your players involved and excited about what you're doing. Make it dynamic and cinematic. So get that beginning. Make it hot. And then get the ending that you're going to drive towards. Make it a twist ending if at all possible. Get that big revelation. Now everything makes sense. Oh, this is why that happened. The mystery is revealed. Make that happen at the end. And I usually plan 1, 2, 3, sometimes 5 things to do in the middle, depending on the time that we have. So that's your basic prep. Prep the beginning, prep the ending. Give them a good beginning. Give them a good ending, and they'll forgive a lot in the middle. And have these optional encounters in the middle. So if your players spend an hour just role-playing, sit back, let them, and cut out those middle encounters. Cut it back to 1 or 2. But if your players don't role-play with each other, if they don't latch onto an NPC, then you might hit 5 encounters before you get to the ending, depending on your players. Now you may have noticed this is a railroad. That's because we've got to hit the beginning, the middle, and the end in one session. We don't have time, sadly, for a sandbox where they can go anywhere and do anything. We just don't have time. It would be more fun, but it would take longer. And because it takes longer, we can't do it. So one-shots are better, in my opinion, as a railroad. The great ending, the great beginning, optional extras in the middle. So as a player, what you need to do is latch onto that hook at the beginning. Say, yes, I'm going to get on this railroad. I'm excited about this railroad. Make a character, if at all possible, who will allow you to get onto that railroad. And ask your GM. A good GM will tell you, make a character like this, or he'll provide one for you so that you can follow along the middle and get to that ending in the allotted time. One-shots, they're very simple on paper. There's just that 3-act structure. There's the tight railroad. There's the characters who want to be on a tight railroad. So on paper, that's very simple. But you can tell, of course, all kinds of stories. It can be a mystery. It can be combat. It can be racing. It can be stealth. It can be intrigue. And it can be any genre, of course, from space opera to ancient Rome to Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley to the Wild West. Anything that you want, you can do it. And one-shots are great for trying out new systems, new characters, new accents, new rule sets, new settings, anything new. Risk 4 hours. Say, I'm going to try it for one shot. I'm going to try it for 4 hours. If it doesn't work, I've only lost 4 hours. If it does work, I might have gained so much more because I can bring it into a main campaign, into a real sandbox. So that's basically my overview of one-shots. Be a team player. If you are the player, jump on that railroad. If you're a GM, have that railroad prepped, prepare. This is a great time to write out descriptions, lines of dialogue, so that you know you're going to do a great job. Your players will get excited about gaming with you again. One-shots are terrific for kind of like job interviews and say, this is what I bring to the table. You know, I'm going to bring this great writing skill, these great descriptions. I'm going to bring in, you know, the plot twist, you know, that you'll get excited about and you'll always remember. And now you want to run a whole campaign building up to a plot twist because you trust that I can do it well. So that's my overview on one-shots. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what I've forgotten or omitted. Educate me. I appreciate it. So thank you very much for tuning in. Until we meet again, good day and good gaming.